Okay, please take your seats. We are ready to start the press conference. Please. Okay. So the 10th game of the World Championship match finished in a draw. And can you please tell what happened in this game?
Well, it was in the Grunfeld today, Russian variation, if you and well, we got to this position. Queen f6 with the idea of obviously some counterplay on b2. I took. Here again there were many choices. I wanted to go bishop g7, queen c1, rook c1, king g7. Rook takes c5, and Magnus mentioned that he was going to play this, which he thought solved everything, which is probably about right. I mean, it seemed inadequate to me. I took, then I went knight g5. Well, there were many tempting continuations. I mean, d6, bishop b5, all sorts of variants of that, but I couldn't find anything that I missed.
Was it important to change queens at this point, or could you keep them on the board? Maybe playing something instead of queen c1? G6 immediately.
It's possible. But obviously black will also have resources then against that pawn. I mean, d6, something. I mean, this will have to be checked.
And later on, what happened?
Bishop d4 was very precise. After that, well, perhaps rook fe1 was slightly better than rook d2.
Why did you refuse to play rook e1?
I also thought knight c6. I wasn't getting anywhere, but after rook d2, rook e8. It's not that I got a whole lot more. h4, and now he plays bishop e5. Yeah.
Magnus, a question for you. How did you estimate this game, and how did you estimate this endgame after changing the queens?
I was a little bit too optimistic at first, I have to say. I thought that after bishop g7, queen c1, it would be immediately fine for black, and I somewhat underestimated knight g5. I believed I would always have good resources there, but after knight g5, it's I didn't find it easy at all, and yeah, with the two bishops, he does have some pressure, but whether it's enough to gain something substantial, I know. But I was relieved when he gave me the e file, because then I think my problems are solved.
After knight g5, you were thinking for like 20 minutes. What other options you were checking at this point?
Okay, it's a kind of a non-standard position, so there aren't that many clear guidelines. Basically any bishop move, and also knight b4.
How did you come to conclusion to play today Grunfeld again, considering that in the game 1 you had problems with black in this variation?
Well, he played something else. So, yeah.
And what can we say about this theoretical battle? Who won this battle, actually?
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. But I can. But yeah, it has to be checked further. But it's a very interesting line. This one, always chances for both sides.
Now we have questions to players. Until you get the microphone. There was also an interesting option for white to win an exchange after bishop b5. There was a moment, I don't remember, I think after instead of knight e4. Did you consider it?
Yeah, but I was not very impressed. I thought that black is doing fine with the exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, a question to Mr. Anand. There's 2 games left. How do you intend to strike back at Magnus?
Well, you just have to keep trying. Today was a very intense game, very interesting, but he defended well. So we'll see.
Other questions? Okay, microphone, please.
A question for Magnus. You said you've been in these high pressure situations before, and I think the last press conference you were talking about, you never really know how your nerves are going to hold up. Just curious, you know you're going to be pressured today. How did your nerves hold up today?
I thought my nerves were okay. I don't know about the quality of the play, but the nerves were fine.
Yeah, actually, considering the fact that the pressure is so high, do you still kind of manage to enjoy the game? Can you manage to enjoy playing? Or it's all about result now?
It's harder, but today it's definitely a very interesting position to delve into, and as a chess player, you like that.
That's true. What can you say about this?
Yes, I mean, obviously you think a lot about the score, but today was an interesting game. I think I'll go and check what happened.
Magnus, given the match situation, why did you choose an aggressive opening today, and did you feel you have good control?
Well, I didn't necessarily feel that I had control, but well, he's a very good player. He's very well prepared, and it's not all that easy to just defend either. So.
And Mr. Anand, if the last game decides the match, do you think you have a psychological advantage during your experience?
Well, first we'll deal with the game tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. But I mean, these things we can keep yapping on forever, but I don't know. We'll just play and see what happens.
Magnus, when your position is kind of bad in this game, how much do you think about the World Championship title that is at stake?
Nothing.
And Mr. Anand, how do you evaluate your chances now to become world champion again?
I know I'll have to play, that's all. Well, we know the score, we know the situation, but I'm still there.
Magnus, this seems to be going down to the wire. Could you try to describe the pressure that comes with playing the two last matches in such an important match?
Yeah, it's a high pressure situation, but it's more favorable to be up. Now we're playing a mini match of 2 games where I have draws, so that's it's not the worst situation to be in.
A question for Magnus. Grandmaster Simon Agdestein talked about Gary Kasparov might be behind your opening today. What do you have to say to him?
Well, we certainly looked at the Grunfeld when we were training back in 2009, 2010.
Other questions today?
Again, for Magnus, when you were choosing your opening today, were you giving any thought to trying to put the match away today with a win?
Yeah, to some extent. I haven't gotten too many interesting positions with black. Some of them have been worse, and some of them have just been kind of boring. But I mean, it's also up to him, I guess, if he. But we had a good fight today, at least.
Question to Mr. Anand. We know that chess players have been experimenting with different types of both exercising and clearing their mind. I'm curious, did you ever try yoga yourself?
Sure. Well, in India it's very common, as you can imagine, and I've tried yoga various times. Sure.
Does it work for you for performing by the chessboard?
Sure, sometimes.
And then a question to Magnus. Did you ever try if you could do Bird of Paradise?
No.
Will you try it?
Probably not with media there.
Thank you.
Okay. Other questions today? More questions? Thank you very much for attending this press conference.
What is it, a cocktail? What is it, a cocktail?
No, it's in the